day 2 of the Road to Vegas here live from London. I am joined by Dan, as per usual. How are you doing today?
I'm fantastic.
Still holding on?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the matches, James.
Awesome stuff. So, also to my right, we have Mr. Halvor coming here from Norway. And to my left, we have Janko from Serbia as well. So, Halvor, how are you? How are you doing today? Looking forward to today's matches?
Yeah, should be good. Survived day 1, so ready to get going with day 2.
Janko, are you looking forward to providing some scathing analysis post-match today?
Of course, as per usual, James.
Okay, that's what we like to hear. So we're going to have a quick look at the format, so we can remind everyone as to exactly how this tournament is working. And you can see that we have best of 3 matches in Europe and USA, 8 teams in both regions. The top 1 team from both regions will qualify to go to Vegas and play in the $50,000 tournament there. It is single elimination, baptism by fire here. So we can have a very quick look at the schedule for today and see what matches we have coming to you. The first one is going to be G2 versus Arcade, a team that not many people might have seen on the upper echelons of Counter-Strike, followed by Mouse versus CSGO Lounge. And then we have North American matches later on, Team Liquid versus Dogmen, and Conquest versus Complexity.
That's such a cool name, though.
Dogmen. Yeah. we've got a few. We had Dogmen. We had Animal Squad in Oceania. We had in Asia Bovines, which was really good. So I'm loving the animal names coming through. So that's really good. So we can have a look at what maps are coming up for the first match and the vetoes as well. So we can see that the bans have been Train and Cobble by Arcade and G2 respectively. Arcade have opted to pick Inferno. G2 have picked Cash. Arcade picking Inferno into, we'll come to that in a second. The deciding map, will be Mirage. So, Janko, what do you think of Arcade picking Inferno versus G2?
Well, I'm not really sure because I don't know much about this team. I feel that there may be a new Peter, an up-and-coming team from the CIS scene. I saw them play a couple of times, not that much. I saw that Mir guy, he's pretty good. He's also, I think, their opper. He had a couple of good rounds with the op. So, I mean, in a matchup against G2, I feel that the map pool isn't that significant simply because of the gap between the 2 teams. Whichever map they play out of the 7 map pool, G2 is going to be a favorite on them. So, maybe because all 3 maps are classic maps in a way, maybe that's a good sign for Arcade that potentially they can make an upset, maybe take a map off of G2, but I don't see them winning or going through.
Halvor, if you're like a mid-level team or not a top-tier team, and you're playing a team like G2, is it ever an option for you to try and pick maps that you think are weaker for G2, or do you just go with your own strengths and hope for the best?
Actually, kind of depends on what kind of style the better team you're going up against is playing. Versus a team like G2, I think it just try to avoid open maps. Actually, you try to avoid their best maps pretty much. More than playing to your own strengths, because you're already going to be at a deficit regardless. It's like Janko said, it doesn't really matter which one of the 7 maps you end up playing, you're still going to be at a disadvantage going up against them because they're just that much better than you individually. So I think it's fair game really, whichever way you go, depending on what team you go up against though. But against G2, I just would not go into maps that allow for heavy aim duels.
From the Arcade lineup, I vaguely recognize Coldy, but I think in general it's just going to be a surprise as to what we can expect from them, which may make for some interesting Counter-Strike, which I have to see. I wonder if it's going to be a surprise for G2 as well. Janko, how do you, as a team where you're playing against an unfamiliar opponent, is there any preparation you make? Do you play slow rounds to see what they can throw at you, or how do you approach such a thing?
Well, it depends. If they have a really dedicated guy in their team or a manager or someone who really wants to check the demos of a team like Arcade, which is a clear underdog, that is an option for them. But basically, you just want to play your own game. What you shouldn't do is you shouldn't underestimate them too much, because that's when things can start going wrong for you. As we say so often, Counter-Strike is a game of few key rounds, and if you lose those key rounds by underestimating your opponent, then you can get into a tough spot. But all in all, I feel there should be a walk in the park for G2.
Well, it's time to go into the pistol round now, so Janko will join us after the match to provide some feedback, and we will head on with Dan and vENdetta as well.
So we go to pistol rounds, and Russia is a region that actually always surprises. because they have so many players and such a culture behind there. Always seeing surprises come out of this country. Now we've got the quick push from G2. This is the first challenge. We talked about the individual skill, and pistols are the first test. As we'll see, Mir actually holding on here. Very well done. 4 kills already, working on the ace. So the defense looks immaculate. This is the kind of play we need to see to topple the Titans of G2. And here it is, looking for the final frag, but it's going to be the kill for Maikelele after all. So things not looking too good here for G2 at the start. But we know that the Inferno is their bread and butter.
Yeah, they're a really good Inferno team, and losing the pistol, that can happen to pretty much anyone. I think if Arcade's eSports actually want a single shot at this, then they're going to have to start off strong like this. For G2, I don't think it matters. I don't think they're going to get stressed out by going down 0-5, anything like that. They know how strong they can be on their T side, and they know they have a pretty good CT side as well.
Okay, so G2 going for the force buy. Yeah, he did say this is their bread and butter. I would go as far as to say that it's their sausage sandwich. I think there's more than one slice of bread with that butter. Well, Arcade are going to be on the buy, of course, with the SMGs. Going to have the M4 onto Mir, and Coldie is going to be rocking the FAMAS, the rest of them on the SMGs, which will have that superior $600 bonus. G2 aren't doing anything crazy just yet. Everything looks deliberate right now. 3 players emerging up top mid, and Mir's taken significant damage. Actually, he is the one carrying the M4 after all. I think he's on spools over towards B. So we've got smokes flying in over towards Banana to try and help out the CTs over there. Meanwhile, G2 seem to be headed towards B as well.
Yeah, looks like the push is brewing indeed. And the Tech9s are back to their previous statistics on the, well, and how they actually perform. And Maikelele is doing some damage here, just being a bit of a nuisance towards the inside of the map, but it is going to be the Tech9s moving into this B side. That's going to be the primary concern for Arcade, as we will see. They have having to go with basically just no nades. So this is pretty appalling because Arcade will not be flashed, they won't be smoked away. So they have every opportunity here to hit all the shots, and here it is. We're getting cut over there by the course, get it immediately eliminated. So this is not looking too bad at all here for the Tech9 armored side of G2 as they get the bomb planted.
Maikelele down to 4 HP. The bomb is planted, but of course they'll be looking to win it with this investment that they've made into this round. jkaem trying to hold down the ruins area. Now he's alone. He's going to go down as well. 2 MP9 kills coming out for Arcade, and they will hold versus G2. I haven't seen a force buy on Inferno where people have held for that long. Maybe it's an influence of Robin. I believe he's coaching them at the moment.
Yeah, it could be. I'm pretty sure Robin is the coach. I'm not sure how much time he's had to actually work with them, because we saw Maikelele actually talking about that on Twitter of all things, like that they were looking for a coach. I think Robin is a fairly new acquisition to the team, but maybe he's had enough time to make some sort of an impact. And he did say, or Maikelele did say that they did want a coach that could actually call for them as well. So he's not just going to be someone who helps out with pregame or during timeouts, anything like that. He's actually going to be active during the games.
So there was a small detail there where Mir took early damage and threw his M4 to his teammate and then went with the UMP just in case, but we'll have more M4s on the CT now, CT half after CT side after a successful second round. So G2 have taken up top mid. But Arcade are pushed back to the back of the site, as you might see in future rounds. The M4s coming in with 2 Tech9 kills as well. A very simple hold there for Arcade. The G2 players bunching up and getting taken down by the railgun. Yeah.
Actually, one thing I'm wondering with a Russian team is actually what kind of strategies you might see, because something I've seen from the past from unknown Russian teams is in that region you get crazy strategies just coming out of nowhere, outside of the European meta.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Oftentimes you'd see, I guess, tier 3, tier 2, brink level teams actually having the most innovative strats, like we saw with eFrag when they started coming onto the scene.
We've got fast pushes from G2. They've taken top mid again. It's early on, but it's seeming to be a recurring story here. So again, now that both teams are on a buy, usually you'd see the CTs force back, but Arcade aren't really accepting normal positionings here. Mir's gone down towards B, but normally in this situation you might see player in pit, player in site, player in library, but again JR's looking for that extra aggression coming back, looking for the information for his team, getting insta-traded though by Fox.
Yep, 3 versus 4 for the Russian side, and it's definitely not a good look on the CT side of Inferno. We do have to push coming in from G2 towards B again, so they've been favouring the B plays, really testing that defense of Arcade, and it's just going to be hutji's over there, or hutji. And let's see if he's going to be able to pull anything off from this position. Just waiting the smokes out G2, but now they have dissipated. They can make the move forwards. 3 versus 1 is not going to be too fun here for hutji. He's going to make the first kill and the second one. Trying to transfer the spray. Almost gets it. Rain down to 46 health. He's really giving his team a solid chance in this round.
Yeah, and it's the final clutch master, the final boss of G2, Rain, forcing the aggression here, moving into a superior position, but may realize where he might have gone, and indeed Arcade will combine to take the last kill, and they will continue 4-0.
Yeah. And as Kidion's pointing out, not that many of the guys from G2 actually doing anything. Rain only one with multiple frags so far in this game.
And you can see Robban is indeed on the server, providing the information for the G2s. Again, it's a solid start here from Arcade with 4 rounds from 4 on the board. It's always good when you're on the CT side of Inferno. We'll see if G2 can finally open them up. They might have a fast round here. They've gone for the force buy. It's because they've got next to no grenades. 3 smokes there on the G2 side. What could their play be?
Well, I mean, with 3 smokes, you can pretty much do anything as far as executes go, towards B or towards A, I would say. Any preferences, Halvor?
Personally, I don't really have a preference, but I would have liked to see G2 put more pressure towards A at this point. We've seen them go towards B quite a few times. It hasn't really worked out. And they also let themselves get bogged down by the smokes, because Arcade are doing a consistent job of just throwing pretty much every smoke they have on A over towards B, as we've seen several times. So G2 aren't given that much time to actually use once they get in towards that B bomb site, and G2 aren't putting enough pressure on A to actually make them use their nades there.
Alright, so again we've got G2 with aggression towards top mid. And this time we have the passive position from Arcade, just sitting on their man lead at the moment. We can see JR's in the library position with the AWP. Often you can find people standing on the furniture on there, which will make them more likely to be shot in the leg than elsewhere. So Cadian's calling the Molotov coming in with 35 seconds left on the clock here. Cadian is doing the observing for us this week.
They also have a smoke as well. So this is what I'm talking about. Not putting enough pressure on Arcade to actually use the nades elsewhere.
Well, Hut's going to get picked off immediately. Mir needs to hold things down. He's pushed through the CT smoke to try and go for the retake with his teammates, it seems. They'll try and hold down Ruins while his team blow in.
Catching aizy off guard could be a good start now. He's got a good position. That angle is very much a nuisance. Maikelele going to go down as well. And this is a huge effort from Mir over by Construction. Just 2 players left on the bomb site and they are quickly falling. Just jkaem now by Banana. I'm not sure if he's been spotted. It does appear that he has been spotted actually, as there is the attention of 2 CTs as the defuse comes in, forcing them to push forwards. But what is this? Arcade seem to just be able to retake, defend excellently against G2 so far. But as you said, Halvor, maybe G2 is really not applying enough pressure. Too many nades.
It seems like Arcade always have a bunch of nades left on that B bomb site, and that's a really issue for G2. And Arcade's willingness to play passively in mid and not actually peek offensively towards mid allows, or gives G2 an opportunity to actually get pretty far up into top mid, which James has pointed out several times, that they're just kind of just walking up there. And instead of actually doing something with the room they're given, they're just trading players and then going back towards B, where they haven't really forced anything out yet.
Yeah, so JR looking for a pick into the crawl space, but he'll only see the legs of someone above. No shots fired just yet. So we'll see if Arcade choose to mix things up. JR taking down Fox at top mid. No one to trade on this occasion. JR's holding a very tight angle as well. Maikelele is going to use that smoke to force him away from his position. Keshandr coming in for a bit of spray. And we have lost Rain as well to Mir over towards the B bomb site. So G2 getting picked off 1 by 1. There's 2 picks for Arcade and no trades coming in for G2.
I'm starting to get kind of excited here for Arcade. They're playing so well. Now G2 will try to get the pressure back into the A site with the 3 remaining players, but they're getting quite low. Nice entry from aizy. It's going to be JR though and Keshandr to finish the job. And JR seems to be doing quite a good job so far, hitting the shots he needs to hit on 10 kills. Seems to be quite reliable in middle so far for Arcade eSports, and they go 6-0 now. Impressive.
Yeah, pretty good so far, and this is the solid start I think they need, because I think nearly regardless of what kind of lead they end up on the CT side, G2 will have an opportunity to actually bring it back.
What do you think of the G2 force here, considering that at this point they can't really impact Arcade's money that much?
Actually, to the point where they haven't really utilized their nades up to this point, so I don't really mind it, actually. They can still do a lot of damage with this, and with the moneyless bonus, they can do a lot.
If they get a bomb plant, which they might think is guaranteed, they end up with $4,200. So that's I actually kind of like it.
They've got a good. Well, sorry, the CTs have a good crossfire here. The balcony area is good in that position because it's a bit of a blind spot coming out of the apps, but also you can help out short. Is it going to work out for them though? 2 frags for the CTs. The third one coming in. They've only lost 1 player so far. JR's hitting all the points at the moment. Maikelele's the last man standing versus 2. Could have an opportunity for a bomb plant here, as surely JR has to wait for the rotation from his teammate.
Yeah, this is very well played by G2 so far. The flick is missed by JR, and that is a very key shot to miss, but oh, there you go. hutji able to catch Maikelele in the side as he turns his attention to the wrong avenue. And there you go. It's 7-0 now, but you can see the impact there. Lots of damage onto the economy, and the $4,200. Sorry, the bomb guarantee means that they got $4,200.
They didn't plant the bomb.
Oh, they didn't get it down.
Nope.
You're right.
Yeah, no, that's super weird.
I
Actually.
kind of almost assumed that should automatically happen there in Maikelele's position.
Yeah, but they got a full buy regardless, so there we go. Our maths needs work. So JR's going to be moving over towards the B-bomb site now, where there's a 3-man hold. We might see a rotation if he manages to successfully get a pick here. Although it seems they're not expecting Rain to be in that position. We're getting a headshot through the corner of the box, I think. But it won't be enough, JR, to take him down. How will G2 react to this over towards A, where they have many people, but the bomb is far away now? Going to have to force someone to go back to collect it.
Yeah, this is an interesting spot. Already being down a man, G2. They need to get some map control going for themselves, and we might see a bit of a challenge here from jkaem, as he's by boiling. His teammates can actually flash him in to try to take the challenges. But 4 players here on A for Arcade. They're ready for this.
We'll see where the first push comes in. They're just looking for the picks, G2 at the moment. Not really using the nades to enter any of these choke points. The double peek is going to come out for CTs, and they're going to get a trade onto Fox in the arch position. The bomb is down as well. It's been collected now. I see almost a full rotation from Arcade. There's 1 player in Speedway, the last player from the B bomb site, as the push continues on A.
But look at this, 2 players stuck in pit here. This is quite interesting. Can they get anything done? The flashes will rain in, and it's big damage done by aizy. 2 frags. Maikelele chiming in as well for 1. JR now in a 1 versus 2 clutch situation. Now, we haven't seen much from these players. What a shot! aizy's down on the bomb site now. It's just going to be Maikelele by the pit position. In flies an incendiary from JR as he looks for the next shot. Oh my god, he's playing whack-a-mole, and he almost did it.
Who shot JR down?
Impressive indeed. And at least they got 4 kills there. Look at the money for G2.
Money on G2 side, not too good, but then again, they are finally on the board. And, well, you can see on Arcade side as well. It's not really that great, so whoever loses this round is going to be back to an eco.
Yeah, that's a pretty tight money situation. Always makes for some good rounds. Man, Arcade are really showing something good here, although JR won't get the blind kill onto Fox. We'll see if he manages to pick that up, although Maikelele has an AWP, so maybe a second one won't be necessary. Not commonly seen on the T side of Inferno. We have a rotation from one of the B players over towards the arch position. Not daring to venture over towards library at the moment, just trying to hold an angle. We see G2 moving away from the A site, assuming that they've caused a bit of a rotation there. Seeing if they can isolate hutji, who's over towards B on his own. There's no smoke for hutji either. Mir is in a position where he could throw smoke over towards B if he knows it. Indeed he has. But that might be a giveaway. Are G2 willing to push through the smoke here?
Yeah, things get scary here for Arcade. hutji's very committed position. Oh, they're not checking. He's managing to get himself a few free shots, but it's not going to result in anything. That's very unfortunate there for Arcade. And it does look like G2 are about to have a clean sweep. However, jkaem will go down towards A. So G2, with the money as it is, they might want to just allow the Arcade to keep these 2 weapons. How do you feel about this?
I think they could easily send 1 or 2 more. I mean, obviously have that rule of 3. We don't want to lose more than 3 members in a round because that's going to impact your economy. If they only lose 2 people, then that's okay. But then again, they might not be willing to send 1 guy alone to potentially find 2 Arcade players. But I still think it's worth it because, as you can see, Keshandr is holding on to an op, which is probably going to go to Junior or JR afterwards. And he's had a pretty big impact with that gun up to this point. So you might want to get that out of Saints, but G2 seem to be thinking more about their own economy than Arcade's.
Okay, so G2 have closed the deficit to 5. We'll see if they can continue to do so. They have a good opportunity based on the money that Arcade don't have. We're seeing a quick replay of these nasty shots coming in from Giles. So unlucky to not get the second one as well. But there we go. He does have the AWP on this occasion. Back over towards B once more. This time he's got to be more wary of the tree position, which has been smoked. There's no one there at the moment, but Rain is possibly emerging on his position. Coldy with the AK. He's going to pick down aizy, and he's going to get traded. Some damage done to Jacob, but he's got the kill onto Mir. And
JR in a position where he really needs to shine, and he can try to commit a little bit to some risks. And he is going to push forward past the smoke, and this is the kind of risk-taking that I do like to see. However, Keshandr there by the apartments should really be able to get this frag, and he will pick it up, and the weapon as well, the AK in hand. And if he can just keep the presence alive in the apartments, it's going to be very strong indeed, but he won't do so. Gets hunted down immediately as Arcade look to bring about some form of damage as G2 potentially explore the outer reaches of the bomb site.
I think it might just be better for JR to run away here, but I think the goal is that JR is going to take the initial aggression, maybe get a hit, maybe get a kill, and allow for hutji to actually pick up a weapon. But I still think you're better off saving that op just very safely on JR instead of potentially losing both players here.
Ooh, hutji, could he use his position to try and shoot some of these players in the corner? I'm not sure if he can reach it. Indeed, he's going to do exactly that. He's just trying to get him to die. Fox is going to survive though. That reminds me of a time when Get Right was in the apps with Molotov, and he threw it into that position, and everyone died, and there were at least 3 people there. It was beautiful. That was great play. Arcade really seemed to be, you know, quite a drilled team there.
I'm telling you, man, you never know what's going on inside Russia. You just never know. I've seen it so many times. But of course, it's early days, so that, you know, let's not jump the gun too soon. But yeah, seems some impressive stuff. And Arcade with the full buy again, but the nades are lacking slightly, so a slower round from G2 with some pressure could be very effective.
And yeah, one of the benefits that these lower tier teams have over the top tier teams is the fact that they actually do have practice times, because teams like G2 and other tier 1 teams, they're constantly on the move. So
good point.
Not that much practice to actually get down in there, and Arcade are on the other side of the spectrum. They don't get to go to that many tournaments, but they get to practice and hone their skill.
Well, we can see Arcade holding things down for now. No trade again for the G2 side. Things going rather bad for G2 at the moment. Reminiscent of previous rounds. Finally, they're going to get a trade in this position, but a trade comes straight back in favor of Arcade. They are doing very well in the trade game in some of these rounds, obviously losing a few in a row. But look at that, surviving with 4 players in a round where they didn't really have that much in terms of utility. They didn't have a lot of nades and so on.
That was actually really interesting because Mir, they actually suspected that there were 2 players behind that smoke. And Mir actually ran to try to fake or try to bait them, I think, to try and think, oh, maybe they're trying to go for a rotation. We can pick the guy off as he depositions himself. Really smart play from Arcade so far. Impressing stuff.
So what can G2 do based on what they've read of this? Oh my god. I don't even know how he aimed that one.
Can't do much about that, can you?
Yeah. This guy, JR, is pretty good. So he's going to get flashed off his position, but let's see if G2 can move fast enough. The frags are going the way of the CTs once again. 4 versus 2. Keshandr moving back into a crossfire position with his teammates now. Or they've lost the balcony player, but they've got a player in the library. So almost parallel, and there we go. Actually, no, that wasn't JR getting a kill there, but aizy is the last man standing. Could get a plant for his team, but he's gone off the site now. And
he's burning.
JR?
JR appears to be on fire. Mir goes down, and aizy is going to get finished off by the man with the big green gun, who can.
17 and 4.
What a performance
right now.
What a performance.
And it's not like his entire team is falling behind either. It's not like he is the one-man show, even though it kind of feels that way. But Keshandr and
I don't understand
both.
I still can't process how he got that kill. I couldn't even see the guy, and he's dead. I don't know.
And they've forced the eco out of G2 as well, so they are looking quite good to break double digits in this first half, which is, as Halvor pointed out, quite rightly so. They definitely need a very, very strong first half because it is G2 after all. And here you go, they're going to try to bum rush JR, and they will be largely successful in doing so, taking away his AWP. Jakim's picked it up, but how much damage can he get done with it? The bomb sites still need to be taken over by the G2 side, and Arcade are pretty aware of this, and they don't have any Kevlar. G2 on naked, but Jakim's going to pick up a frag with the AWP.
Well, see if G2 can hold on. They've got a good position, crossfire on the pit area, and they're going to get the kill down despite having inferior weaponry. Maikelele picks up an M4, but there are heavily tagged players here, with 2 M4 players coming in for Arcade, or not, as one is going to stay on the B bomb site, never mind. Arcade don't have the money to be able to afford themselves a suicidal push to get the kills here. But again, I think Mir, we'll see if he peeks the site, but worst case scenario, he may be going to try and kill plays in the pit again, but he's going to get taken down, pushing too far versus jkaem. The flank was coming in anyway. But there we go, he's going to be sitting down like a teddy bear, covered in blood.
And that's a pretty big deal not to get that kill as well, because that's a weapon picked up that can stay in the hands. That's like a lot of extra value going to G2, so pretty disappointing round for Arcade there.
And they definitely wanted to do better in that situation, and we saw some real pace actually going up in mid, which caught Arcade off guard. And I think that's something that G2 have had the opportunity to abuse for the better part of the game. Oftentimes they've stopped whenever they move towards Arch, or JR picks up that first frag from the Arch position. They've kind of stopped and gone towards short instead. This time the Arch push just works out really nicely for them.
We've got 3 CTs towards B with the 1 M4 on hutji, and it's going to be a bit of a pop flash coming in, but Rain will be ahead of it. Gun comes out now, and the spray down will begin. The garden hose is going to take 2 Arcade players on Banana, and hutji will run away and try to save his M4. Might be difficult though, because it's a 5 versus 1.
I just want to say that I thought that was a really cute play there on Banana, because he put the smoke there, it looks almost like a default middle smoke, and then they got the pop flash designed to get those 2 pistoling players through the smoke. That's actually really cool. That's a very nice little tactic there.
Only problem is the pop flash didn't actually flash
that
any
is
of the G2 members.
that is the main issue, but the idea was great.
The idea execution, not so.
Nice, fanboy. So Arcade have gone for the buy here. Triple FAMAS to get just a few nades on the go. Mir will still have none unless he's deployed some early. You can see more of a traditional 2 players towards B. Oh, this time Maikelele gets the better of JL. A bit of a late peek there. Maybe underestimating the timing. And having trades come in, 3 versus 3. 2 players towards the bomb site where Fox and Rain are headed, but we'll see if Maikelele can change things as he emerges towards A.
Yeah, GT starting to show up much more, and looking to get that 6th round. And as you pointed out, 2 players are actually on the B site, so if this is a bit of a gamble...
Double peek angle is epic.
I'm just expecting Mir to somehow get the head of hutji. Or hutji.
There was one time on the Rise of Renegades where they had a quadruple peak of A long. We'll come back to that in a second. A double peak is working out so far. Mir with 2 frags. hutji coming in with a Molotov, and Maikelele is forced from his position. 40 seconds left, looking for an inevitable flank. Missing the shot though, trying to follow up with a Tech 9, but he may be stuck between a rock and a Russian place.
Yeah, very cute little setup, and it's panned out magnificently. Maikelele getting tagged down pretty significantly now as well. And there you go, 10-5 is going to be the first half score. And yeah, a lot of cute little tricks that I haven't seen very commonly out of the Arcade side, and they're making it work here and there. So they've got that start they need.
The double peak reminded me of a time when aizy was on long for Renegades. And he moved back off long onto A slope, and there was a player on short, and there were 2 players in CT, and they all peaked at the same time. One guy just got completely wrecked when he got there on long. So it reminded me of that, which was quite nice. Nice example of team play. There we go, onto the pistol now. And Arcade will be the aggressors, unless G2 are feeling particularly fruity. Fox getting the first kill, starting as he means to go on, no doubt, on Banana.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good for G2. All the information as well, having that forward position there. And they've got Rain towards the boiler. A lot of the CT sides these days actually try to get somebody into second mid. But we have G2 with the forward presence on Banana, which is kind of the alternative to that, to kind of have an idea what the C's are actually doing. But Arcade, they're lining up for what could be a B or Banana take, and Fox is going to spot all players. And here he goes. He is just barely going to be able to connect something before going down. And jkaem, will they count on this guy? There's the peak. It looks perfect for jkaem. Both kills coming his way, leaving just hutji or hutji. Is it hutji, do you reckon?
hutji?
You can speak Russian, right?
Not good enough to know.
All right.
Know all of that.
hutji, I would say.
Hutji. Hutji.
Yeah, I want to say hooch.
Yeah, that does
I
make a
know
lot of
it's
sense. Yeah.
Someone can tweet us. I'm sure there are people watching.
hutji.
I hope there are people watching.
Yeah.
Anyway, Arcade is going to be on the force buy here, and G2 will continue as Arcade did on their CT side with the superior weaponry, even a Tech 9 onto Fox. So he's saving for the AWP, of course. An aggressive hold by the car for G2 towards Banana. Maikelele looking for the spray down in mid. Again, the spray nerf has been reverted.
Well, pretty aggressive setup actually from G2, given that this is a force buy coming in from Arcade. They don't really seem to be that afraid of what the Russians can actually bring to the table, and pick up the first frag onto JR, so that creates even more space for them in Banana. And this rotation is going to be so quick from G2.
Well, Reigns got taken down by the Tech 9 of Mir. And we're seeing more advancements in the trades again. The trade game really strong for Arcade so far, looking to extend their lead, but Fox with a 180 doing nice work. Doesn't pick up himself a rifle just yet. Maikelele coming in, trying to stop the plant from going down, but he's going to fall to bits. Everyone's heavily tagged apart from Jacob. He's going to be the key player now. Cody's left alone, has the bomb, but Jacob has the M4.
That wallbang was so incredibly important to take the planter down. That would make so much difference. I think they could even force buy this round if they had got the plant down there.
Yeah, they probably could have actually. Whether that would have been a good decision or not really sure. Judging from their CT side, they were heavily reliant on their utilities, and as soon as they started going, out of money, they struggled more and more to hold back G2. So I'm curious if they're going to need a lot of it. That's Jake and Fox, yeah.
We've got taken out very quickly there.
It's pretty decent anti-eco coming in from G2, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see whether or not Arcade are going to heavily rely on their smokes and basically their execute to get T rounds, because they definitely needed it on their CT side to hold G2 back. But they might end up in a situation where they're going to have to get something done with just AKs and basically taking aim duels, which is not a great place to be in when you're playing G2.
Absolutely. We got initial presence up middle and towards second middle for Arcade at the moment. And nothing really out of the ordinary just yet. G2 looking to just plant one guy on B, looking for the information, and now they have got a 4-man setup on A. So very standard stuff here. It's Fox actually as well. We saw this so much at the major, and it worked very well. That orphan hands of Fox, able to get a pick usually and then fall back, as well as that information. This setup is indeed very powerful. An Arcade, will they go for the execute into it? They only have 3 grenades in total left now. Now 2, just 2 smokes left. Does look like they're going for the push on A, and with only 2 smokes, you'd imagine they're pretty committed here.
Yeah, we've got a triple short play now from the CTs with a crossfire across the site and pit. So it seems that maybe how the match has gone so far, G2 are expecting a significant execute from Arcade, but Arcade are just waiting and waiting. And with 40 seconds left on the clock, maybe G2 would think that perhaps the B play is coming in, but the push is starting to come in now. The kills are going the way of the CTs, however. The bomb is moving in now, and aizy's been taken down in the pit. Jakim's still trying to hold on over here, but the A-site's now in control of Arcade. That's an important duel for Mir as well. Fox trying to trade with the Tech 9, not going to work out for them, and G2 lose Arcade's buy.
Bit of a mishap on G2's end there. I think Jakim realizes that he lets one of the players pass and arch there, but Maikelele still gets picked off, and that's something that never should happen. If you have on-point communication, then that should be relayed to Maikelele so he can actually get into a position where we can play safely.
Yeah, the buy is pretty awful for G2. It wasn't awful, but it's could be a lot better for G2. Deagle and Mag 7 in there, sort of rifles, and we'll have nothing out of the ordinary from G2 as far as aggressions with this goes. They're just going to try to wait, maybe hopeful that Fox can do something. But Arcade, their approach to this round is also going to be quite curious, because now they finally actually have an advantage on the weaponry, and that's going to be the first time on this side for a while.
Well, let's see. Fox is very quick on the trigger, I was about to say, and he was even faster than I can talk. Taking down JR there, super, super quick. He's so good at those angles on Banana. Extremely dangerous. Definitely need a flashbang to push him off those angles. Even then, sometimes he finds a frag. He's going to rotate over towards the A site, as I'm sure Arcade will be wanting to avoid him for the time being, and G2 will have strength in the fact that Jacob is holding B on his own. Still a smoke at top mid, actually, and Arcade, in fact, maybe looking to overwhelm the AWP of Fox heading over towards the B bomb sites.
Jacob does have quite a few nades left here, so he can still hold back this push, eventual push from
the timing.
Arcade. The timing's on point there. Not going to do that much damage, but
Well, the bombs come in, and he's got shot straight in the face. So the bomb site has been lost. We've got the smoke down in CT there. So G2 with 3 players, 2 out of position. Surely they're not going to go for this.
The funny thing there actually about the incendiary jkaem threw as well is that he actually committed 2 players of the 4 to run past the incendiary. So if jkaem actually makes the first kill or 2, he might actually have just done enough with that incendiary, having split the players up. But it's a pretty nice round otherwise by Arcade after losing a man early on. They managed to recover. They're showing some decent strategical awareness actually of the kind of the things that you need to be able to do to win these bomb sites.
Yeah, absolutely. They're playing a pretty good game right now. And yet, just like you said, the fact that jkaem's Molotov in that situation, I think, kind of triggers the reaction it does from Arcade. I don't think he expected that for them to more or less just commit to the bomb site that quickly, especially not running through the smoke as well as the Molotov. But there you go.
So double mag 7 coming out now for the G2 side. If 1 is not enough, try 2. Fox continues on you up. Of course, it did save 3 weapons in the previous round, so they can muster some kind of defense here, but the defense may have to prioritize offense in order to be successful. Maikelele's gone down already, so they're left with the Yorp, 2 mag 7s, and a FAMAS. Again, Fox holding the angle there, and we can see nade preparations have been made. Bit of a tag coming in, and the Flames will finish him off there. That's a nice 1-2 from JR.
That was absolutely gorgeous stuff there. I'm not sure if he intended for it to work out like that necessarily, but boom, that was amazing. Now jkaem's actually there by the sandbags, but the rest of the team of Arcade are moving in close here towards the A site. Nice couple kills with the Mag 7 to even out the situation by Rain, but it's going to be fleeting, that advantage, as aizy is now alone in the pit with the FAMAS, but he's found himself an extra kill. aizy going absolutely ham with the FAMAS, 2 frags, just JR left now, the clutch versus 2 players. He's got 40 seconds, he needs to kill aizy quickly, gets the tag, cannot switch to the sidearm quickly enough. Very unfortunate ending for what looked like a very promising round for the Russian side.
Definitely very close right now. If it's not for aizy, if aizy doesn't get the second frag on the first magazine of his, I think that just is the end of that round for G2.
What a kill by JR though.
Oh yeah.
On Banana.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. Arcade are streaming towards the A sites on this occasion. No lurkers towards Banana. Could be a fast play. Again, they are lacking their nades, so those things would add up. That nade is gonna do some damage, but not all damage required. G2 looking for some aggression now, as these nades force Arcade out of position, and Rain's just going to stand there and make it rain. Bomb is stuck at top mid at the moment, and Maikelele is going to smoke it off, so now Arcade are in a sticky situation. They've got time though, there's still a minute on the clock here, so you can try and play around it, but ultimately they'll have to breach.
Yeah, it still feels like they missed their window of opportunity to get some momentum back. It really feels like G2 are going to be in an amazing spot now to get quite a lead.
I love the play at top mid there. He had Maikelele standing by the wall to try and avoid most of the flashbangs with a teammate watching Boiler, which he didn't have vision of. Then he goes for the full spray, and jkaem gets straight into position in case somebody tries to capitalize on the lack of bullets in his magazine. So very nice small detail there by G2.
I also like the fact that Fox is still playing somewhat aggressively in Banana and actually looking for information instead of playing at the very back of the side. So the rest of the G2 team might get completely surprised and caught off guard and not being able to rotate.
Fast play from aizy. Had a good spawn to look on the balcony. I like the nade as well, just in case people were quite close. But so far so good for G2. 4 from 4. hutji will take down jkaem, and Fox will finish things off with the P250 there. Yeah, often when you have people who have a good spawn for balcony, they make the play there. But it's not often you see it with a nade as well. Like a combination, as we saw from JR over towards Banana. So maybe something we'll see more of going forward.
So one thing I'm wondering is how Arcade are going to interpret attacking the fully stacked G2 defense with the Yorp on Fox and so on, because they know that he has somewhat reliably been towards the B-bomb site, and indeed JL's going to go for the challenge, and his team is now down to 4 players. It's not a good situation early in the round.
And even the one round that they won, which was a buy round towards A, that was still broken round where G2 should have been able to adapt better and actually hold that back, because it was a situation where Arcade had used pretty much all of their nades without getting any further than top mid. So Arcade, a bit worried about what they've shown so far on their T side.
So you can see there's a crossfire, well not a crossfire, but jkaem is in for support. The jkaem Fox pairing is so good. jkaem's going for some peeking now, and it's just going to shoot the side of the belt there and get the kill. jkaem's going to get shot through the wooden panel, but Fox is still in position to hold things down. We have Arcade waiting for a fast push through the balcony here. And we'll see. There's a bit of a weird rotation. aizy's coming in. Oh, Mir's got a nade in his hand. hutji to trade. 2 versus 3 now. What is going on?
Yeah, that player running across, you can't miss that frag. What's hutji able to take down range, spinning around after dropping out of the balcony? Now, actually, there might be a chance after all. 2 versus 2. There's a positional, decent position for hutji here in the pit. And Keshandr's on the bomb side itself with the bomb ticking away now. So G2, it's now the impetus is now on them to go for the push. And in they go from both sides. Can they win their engagements? Keshandr looking for the off angle here. Oh, beautifully played there from G2, anticipating the situation, but the frag is going to go back in the way of hutji, looking for the final spray down, but Fox is going to pull it out of the bag. And G2 now will equalize 12 to 12, but they did lose 4 players, and it required a quad kill from Fox.
And they've won so many rounds in a row with not losing too much, so their money's going to be completely fine. Arcade, on the other hand, they're going to actually go for the buy up here, and they're not going to have that many needs to work with. So I'm really worried for them. They're going to have to rely on someone having a making a big play individually, because what they've done so far in terms of executing hasn't been working out, and now they've got less to work with.
Standard format so far in this run for G2. Let's see, Arcades are just ever so slowly creeping, maybe expecting some aggression from G2, and they might just get that. Maikelele going for a bit of a meaty nade there towards second mid, perhaps. Look at this boost from Arcade. What is this? Well, it seems Rain's expected it, going for a 2-man spray down. The JR will survive, so lots of reads being made by both teams. Very interesting stuff we're seeing here on Inferno.
It almost looked like they were going to do a boost themselves. But yeah, that's very unfortunate there for Arcade. G2 off once again early on in the round to a man advantage. One thing I did like from Arcade's A push previously, although Fox is getting aggressive here, so I might have to hold that fort for the moment. But it felt like they understood how to peel away the defense of A by pushing Arch first. And we haven't seen them with any Arch control in quite some time. And they're going to go for their mid control. The forward players of G2 starting to get under a lot of pressure. And hutji is delivering the entries that are required. 3 versus 3. Can aizy save the day for G2 once again?
Yeah, he's under a lot of pressure here. We've got a 3-man push on short. They have 2 heavily tagged players though, and the trade will come in once again. So down to 2 versus 2 now. We've still got a rotation coming in through CT to Arch for G2. Both here now. And the bomb is not getting planted just yet. Arcade opting for the guns instead. Mir gets one, trades, loses the bomb, and Fox repositions as he knows the onus is on Arcade with 10 seconds left. He has to go for the bomb plant here or fake. But it's a gamble if he goes for the latter.
So here it is. hutji with a nice flash. That's actually going to give him a little bit of extra time. Fox looking for the shot with the AWP, and he spots the player, nails him straight in the chest. And once again, another very close round from Arcade, but they can't quite seem to close it in these ending stages. I was even surprised that they managed to take A there, to be honest, and get a bomb down situation.
Yeah, no, I didn't expect them to actually get past both Rain and Maikelele without losing any players. So, well, they did, and they got the bomb plant, so that means another buy incoming. It's actually going to be better buy this time around than what they had in the previous round.
Fox has finished off a lot of rounds here for G2.
Just about to say, he seems like the biggest problem right now.
Yeah, he always is on Inferno, it seems. Oh, the nades flying in, and they go in favour of the G2 side. Rain's got himself in position towards the bench area. He's going to peek short, but doesn't have a silence them for. Oh, almost a double peek coming in there from Arcade. More trades. This time the CTs will get the second one. aizy has a lot of people headed his way. Doesn't see Mir. He's too close. Shoots him straight in the head. 3 versus 3.
What a crazy round. Everyone's all over the place at this point. The CT's already going for the retake. And Arcade aren't even on the bomb site yet. Trying to get there, trying to get the bomb planted, and he might just have barely enough time to do so as the CT side fan out behind these smokes that have been laid down now defensively to protect the bomb. And here it comes, the pressure from the CTs, the retake attempt. And they are starting to get quite low on health here, and the positioning is quite good, but oh my god, Fox is hitting these incredible shots. He's so hard to stop at this point. What a nuisance. Just Arcade's Keshandr left, and he's going to go down finally, and the retake will happen for G2. Another close round with another bomb plant on A, but still Arcade struggling to find a way to just finish the round.
Fox on the CT side of Inferno. It's just proving to be savage time after time. G2 now, after a very tough start. 2-round lead. The buy coming out for Arcade once again, so the pressure will continue here on the CT side. against the CT side, should I say.
And they're going to be buying up for the rest of the game because they don't want to allow G2 to get to match point.
Well, G2 going for savage aggression all the way down mid, and it might be unexpected as we haven't seen it yet in this match, but Fox is doing damage as well. Running distraction towards Banana. We've got two CTs just standing in mid, Rain with 2 frags, leaving Keshandr wondering what the hell's just gone on.
Yeah, this is that kind of brutal, aggressive, no-respect play that can really just destroy teams that have less skill, and Keshandr's trying to make something happen here, but it's not going his way. 15-12, and it does appear that G2 are looking like they're about to steal away the first map, which Arcade had set themselves up so well for.
Yeah, no, G2 are, I guess, reaching their final form, more or less. They're just kind of playing, knowing that they're better than Arcade eSports are right now. And it's like you said, it's so tough to actually play that T side versus such an aggressive CT side as they are putting out right now. Because you really don't know what to do with yourself or where to put yourself according to your teammates and all of that. And that takes time.
Right, so possibly the last stand for Arcade. Coldie is not going to be off to a good start. They've got 2 Galils, next to no grenades on the side either, so maybe they have run out of steam in that kettle. 2 people in the apps area. Again, aizy's got that strong position, which is a bit of a blind spot because you have to worry about short graveyard and the site and the pit as well. But this is a known spot, and the peek's going to come in from Mir, expecting aizy there, and he's going to take him down. Player in the pit now, Rain loses short as well. Now to Maikelele to hold things from long. He's going to take down Mir, but they have a man disadvantage, and jkaem still coming in for the rotation. JR to spray him down at bottom mid, so it's Maikelele versus 3 to try and take map 1 for his team. Well, 2 people aiming for him already, and hutji will do the job. So Arcade surviving with 3 players, having almost no nades in the bag, and a really crap buy. They'll survive for now.
Yeah, that was the first time that Arcade actually had an advantage, it felt like, going into an A take.
First time they actually killed Fox and Banana.
Yeah, that seems to be making the entire difference. Fox is just the singular problem for Arcade, to be honest. On the retakes and on the pushes towards B, he's the guy that just wrecks them.
Yeah.
Well, Fox coming in for more aggression, and there's more Molotovs and nades headed his way. Not much damage done yet, but that's a lot of damage done onto JR. Fox getting sweet revenge for the earlier shenanigans. More trades coming in over towards the A site. Might be a fast round from both teams. Rain winning the spray down though, taking down 2 towards the apartments.
Almost feels like G2 are going guerrilla warfare, just with crazy aggressions, putting 3 players in the apartments, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. But 2 players left for Arcade. This looks like last chance saloon, and just Keshandr now against 4 players. The bomb down, precariously positioned by the hay wagon there, and Keshandr, he's only got a minute left to play with, and he is going to be finished off by Maikelele. 16-13, pretty awesome showing from Arcade, but G2 showed why they should be feared, I suppose.
Yeah, so we had Arcade start at least 7-0. Janko, how do you feel about their performance?
I feel it was heartbreaking. I feel it was, yeah, this is the one for the one per day. Yeah, I feel it was heartbreaking to watch this, at least for me, because I've lost so many games the same way as an underdog playing against a better team. Everything starts well, Mir with a 4K in the pistol round, gets some momentum for his team. They were up 7-0. Then you lose a couple of rounds, you know, that you're not supposed to lose. They lost an anti-eco round because JR was over-aggressive, and he played amazingly well in the first half. He had a lot of high-impact, crazy AWP shots, but you can also see on a couple of occasions he was over-aggressive, too aggressive, and there's no need to be that aggressive. The round is yours to win. You have an advantage. Just play it safe, play by the numbers. You have the better equipment, and that crushed them. And also, we had a lot of clutch rounds, a lot of close rounds, which in the end, as you pointed out, Fox with his was playing really well, and I think the experience of G2 pulled through in the end, although it was a really close and really exciting game. I was pleasantly surprised by Arcade.
Do you think they made many mistakes? I know you mentioned some over-aggression there, but was it more of a case towards the end of what they did wrong, or G2 just coming back into it and Fox being a problem?
Well, I would say that it's a combination of both. If they hadn't lost that anti-eco round, and also it was there was a round where they had a man advantage, but again they played it overly aggressive. You know, it ended up 16-13. You get those 2 rounds going the Arcade's way, they will win 16-13. So I think it was those minor mistakes that decided the winner in the end.
So we mentioned earlier, Halvor, that maybe perhaps Arcade should be looking to avoid open maps. The second map is Cache. We've seen the prowess now of JR. Do we have any expectations going into map 2?
I have lowered expectations because we know how good G2 are on Cache. Inferno was Arcade's map pick, so if any plays, that would be where they could shine and actually show the practice that they've put in. I'm not saying that it's going to be like a no contest going into Cache, but I don't really have any high hopes. Even though they played a good game here, we could see how much they struggled on their T side actually getting anything done. Like their executions weren't that crisp. They struggled as soon as they got on low econ and actually weren't able to do all that much as soon as they ran out of utilities. And I think they might end up in a similar situation. And it's going to be even harder on a map like Cache, I think, to actually get anywhere versus a team like G2.
Yeah, I just remember the second round. I'm sorry that I wanted to point out. It was 12-8 for Arcade. G2 forced. They had an op on Fox in Banana, and it was the round where JR tagged him. Then he burned to death because the Molotov fell behind Fox. So later on in that round, Arcade was 3 versus 2. They knew that one guy was left on A, the other guy was left on B, but they kind of just rushed in towards short, which is not a bad thing. You know, you have a numbers advantage. But one flash from aizy caught them all off guard. All 3 players were fully blinded. He managed to get 2 kills while they were blind, and in the end G2 was able to win that round. What I think Arcade should have done there, you just have one guy with his back turned or maybe stay in quad, just wait for something to happen so that they all don't get caught off guard, because most of the time that one guy that's still alive on A side, he's going to be either in pit or on balcony, a safe position where he can get at least 1 free kill. So minor mistakes cost them the game in the end, but I don't think they're out still. We'll see what's going to happen in Cache, although G2 is warmed up now.
Yeah, for me as well on Cache, it is a map where you can still be quite avant-garde, just be very innovative in how you put together strategies. There's a lot of space for developing cool stuff, so we might see something cool from them on the T side from Arcade. I'm thinking about the upset teams, yeah, because maybe we'll have another upset here. We had 2 upsets in NA yesterday, but I feel like there's a lot of room for them to play with. But the problem is, for me, the strength for G2 is the stuff like the 1-2 combo of Fox and jkaem on the B bomb site and so on. Like they're so good just individually, and Cache is also a map where not only strategically can you shine, but it's hard to actually force away that individual potential. You need to face the skill of these players. There's no way around it. But I'm expecting some cute stuff. But generally speaking, I think it should be fairly convincing for the G2 side, personally. I'm not sure what you guys think, but
I'd agree with that.
Well, we will find out after the break. We'll be back here in a few minutes with map 2, which will be Cache.